Welcome again, adventurers, to another build video. Today we are going to build out a cleric, and we are going to try to create a medium range character. Now, medium range I feel is a bit tough and kind of uncommon in Pathfinder. I sort of define close range as 5 feet away, like actual touch distance, adjacent squares. And then long range tends to be sort of one stride action, so like 25 to 30 feet away. Medium range is something in between. I think that alchemists often fill this role if you don't have the far lobber feat because you are using a weapon. Your primary weapon, the bombs, are only 20 feet. We're going to be kind of operating in that 10 to 20 feet with this character. Let's begin. Starting with the Ancestry. I am going to use the Kitsune for this one. I like this Ancestry a lot. It's very fun. I think they're very cool looking. And we're going to get some good medium range abilities with this. And we're also going to get a little bit of additional spell casting. So that's what we're going with. The class is, of course, going to be Cleric. And for the background, I'm really going to lean into the healing with this, but not so much necessarily the magical healing. There will be that. This is going to be a battlefield character. So we are going with Field Medic. And there's my cat meowing in the background again. Anyway. I see this character as being someone who is battle-hardened. They are right up there, right behind the front line. They are looking out for everyone. They are running up and patching people. And they also know how to take some chip shot damage and get in on the action when that is an option available to them. All right, so we've got the big three there. Let's go ahead and set our initial abilities. We're going to go with a lot of dexterity, of course, wisdom. Now, I'm not maxing out wisdom right now because attacking with spells is not going to be the primary means of attack. Or even debuffing with this character. The nice thing about the heal spells that we'll be using are they just work, and we'll be using other spells that just work. But we're still going to go with a +3 wisdom because we will be doing traditional healing in addition to the magical healing. We're going to go with an additional boost to charisma. This is using the pre-remaster rules where the charisma modifier dictates how many heal spells you have. I think that's changing, and you just get 4 automatically, which would be great. I can't quite remember, though, and technically it's not out yet, so we are building with the current rule set. And then I am going to also add a point of strength to be able to do a little bit more damage with some of our strikes, though I could also argue for going with con to be a little bit more survivable, or even intelligence if you wanted more training, but I'm going to go with strength here. Now for the heritage. I am going to go with the Empty Sky Kitsune, and that is because we gain access to the Kitsune Spell Familiarity Ancestry feat. So let's go ahead and pick that and show what that does now. We get to choose from Daze, Forbidding Ward, or Ghost Sound as an innate cantrip. Let's go ahead and pick that. And I am going to go with Forbidding Ward. This makes a lot of sense for the medic. You're going to be up front, and you can provide a bonus to the armor class of one of your fellow combatants. Another nice thing about this is there's no DC or roll or check associated with it, so having that +3 instead of +4 wisdom doesn't matter at all. Now for our Ancestry feats, I am going to go with Foxfire. You choose electricity or fire damage. You gain the Foxfire ranged unarmed attack with a maximum range of 20 feet. It deals D4 damage of the chosen type, and it can be improved with hand wraps of mighty blows. So this is our first example of something that is medium range. Most spells have a 30-foot range. A lot of ranged weapons are even further away than that, but a lot of the unarmed range attacks, like throwing things, well, I guess that's armed, but you know what I mean, throwing something, or like the seed pod attack and this foxfire are within that 20, 15 kind of foot range. So we're going to use this as a good one action chip damage from range ability. Our divine font, we're going healing. This is going to be a healer. And our doctrine is going to be Cloistered Cleric. Now, the deity we are going to go with, which will affect the weapons we have access to and all of those kinds of things, is going to be Savannah. So we might want to just enter that now. Copying that over from my notes. The favored weapon here is very cool. From what I remember, I think it is the Bladed Scarf. So that is what we are going to go with. And the domain I went with initially is time. Though I feel like I wanted to double check that this is all kosher for this deity. So we are going to look it up on Archives of Nethys. Bladed Scarf, yes. Oh, time is not one of their domains. So we're not going to go with time. Let's go with... Right. Let's go with trickery because we are a fox after all. So we gain the... You move swiftly from a dangerous spot and veil yourself. You step and become concealed. Pretty nice. So that is going to be our focus spell, our domain spell. Okay. That is pretty much set for... oh, wait. We need skills, deities. Oh, there's so much to go over. All right. We're going to go with some acrobatics because we are pretty agile. And then survival as well, because I think that makes sense for a battlefield healer. You're used to kind of long campaigns and being out there. As far as deity skills, let's see what we have. We've got deception, it looks like, which works well with our slight boost to charisma. Okay. Now we can pick out our weapons. And remember, this is going to be the Bladed Scarf. And this is cool because it is disarm, sweep, trip, reach, finesse. Wow. It is just a d6, so we'll do a d6 plus 1 damage. It is 2 hands, but man, that is still so cool. Yeah, it is 2-handed. Okay. So this is something that you can use at that medium range. When you are 5 feet away, you don't need to get a step closer, and you can go ahead and use this weapon. If something's a bit further, use your Foxfire. This will do a little bit more average damage. It's a higher weapon die, and you do have 1 point of strength for that nice little small bump in static damage. As far as defenses go, well... You're a cloistered cleric, so you're just going to stay in your clothes. Sorry. You might want to take some general feat for armor training later because you are going to be medium range. But, you know, with an AC of 16, that's not terrible. Gear, kind of the standard adventures pack, and then also healing tools because, well, you're going to be using those. You do have... Let's go ahead and get that. Remember, as part of the background, Field Medic, you do gain Battle Medicine right at level 1, so that is fantastic. Now let's take a look at spells. We already have our cantrip, we already have our Cleric Font spells, and we already have our Sunshift Reaction Focus spell. Now let's pick out our our cantrips and our spells in level slots. I think that it makes sense to give yourself a good longer range attack if needed, so we'll go with the new needle darts. It's kind of nice that that is available to everyone. We also will probably want guidance. That's just a good one action, help people out kind of a cantrip to have. We're going to want shield because we are going to be medium range and it's probably going to come up. We'll want stabilize because, well, sometimes that's all you can do. You might have already battle medicined on someone, so you can't do it again. You might be out of heal spells or don't want to use one. Just go ahead and stabilize them at that point. And then, you know, kind of your standard detect magic, I think, would work here. As far as your level spells, let's go with Bless. This is another one that doesn't require a DC check of any sort, and it works out really well for being in this medium range because the first time you use it, the radius is only 5 feet, meaning you would need to be adjacent to someone in order for this to have any effect. So as someone who's going to be medium range, maybe right behind the front line, this is perfect. And then on that second time that you sustain, this is going to go out to 10 feet, and that really should be perfect to ideally be in the right position and kind of cover your front line. And then similar note of being there to help out the front line, we're going to go with Magic Weapon. And that does it for level 1. So what we're looking at is this medium range support healer who can also do a little bit of damage. Ideally, you would stand just a square or two behind the front line. That way you are there if they need help. You can also use that ranged attack and that bladed scarf, which has reach, to do a little bit of damage to help out that front line. You can buff someone with Bless. You can protect them with Forbidding Ward. You can keep them from dying with Stabilize. But let's look at some of the cool things you can get as you level up. Starting with your class feat. Rapid Response. You work quickly and efficiently in times of danger to deliver needed assistance. You stride towards the triggering ally. You get a plus 10 foot circumstance bonus to your speed during this movement. So this is a reaction that happens when an ally is reduced to 0 hit points. So you can be standing behind, someone gets reduced to 0 hit points, and as a reaction, you stride right up to them. This is really helpful because then you can battle medicine on them without having to take an action to move during your turn. It really does encourage you to be close to people, though having your stride with the circumstance bonus means you can probably move pretty much anywhere on the battlefield to help someone out as needed. I would say at level 3, you would probably want to take up Continual Recovery or Ward Medic, which first requires you to boost your medicine to Expert. All right, so we're going to do that. And now you will be better at your medicine checks, and you'll be able to treat multiple people at the same time. And that is going to be fantastic. Level 4 class feat. I like Radiant Infusion for this build. You pour invigorating positive energy into a living ally. If the next action used is to cast Heal to restore hit points to a single living creature, the target deals an additional 1d6 damage with its melee weapons and unarmed attacks. So if you have a frontliner who is getting low on health and you don't want them to drop, give them a 2-action heal spell, which is something you'd probably do anyway, and now you invigorate them a bit and they do extra damage on their strikes. So think about how that has the ability to totally change the course of a battle. Rather than that ally maybe going down on their next turn, they're, first of all, not going to go down, and second of all, they're probably going to drop that enemy because they are doing that much more damage. That is a really cool ability for this character. And then finally at level 5, this is where you get into your ability boost. I would definitely finally give yourself a +4 in wisdom here. Also a +4 in dexterity so that you can better use your weapon and your Foxfire. Probably go with Charisma, again, under the old rule set to give yourself an extra heal spell. And then Strength if you want to do more damage, or Constitution if you want to be a little bit more survivable. For the Ancestry feats, I do like the Kitsune lore. This is going to give us some training, and will give us training in Kitsune lore, so we're going to do that. We're going to pick up extra skill training due to that. And as far as a skill to increase, you might want to do Deception and start using some feints or things like that in combat. That's not a bad idea. You could increase one of your lores. This is where I get to the point of saying you probably need to see how your team is doing and how the campaign is going before you fully know this. And that is where I'm going to stop with this build today. So to kind of recap, we have a medium range character who's going to stand just behind the front line, is going to do some chip damage with the Bladed Scarf, which has reach, and with the Foxfire with a range of 20 feet. They are going to protect their allies with Forbidding Ward. They're going to heal their allies with Battle Medicine. They're going to rush to their aid with Rapid Response. They are going to, outside of combat, I guess we didn't talk too much, but you've got this good survival, so you're going to help your party get through the wilderness, things like that. And ideally, this is a good, fun build. I know this is something, if I was playing a frontliner, I would definitely want to have behind me. That's all for now. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you like to do with your cleric classes, and also what you think of the changes coming to the cleric class in the remaster, because there are going to be a lot. Not so much with the cloistered cleric, but a lot with the war priest. That's all for now, adventurers. Talk to you next time.